This is the Defender and it is Land Rover's top selling car in India. But why? Simply because there's absolutely nothing like the Defender. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you 4 pros and 4 cons of this amazing off-road machine. So let's start with the cons first. The number one con and the biggest con of the Defender is the price and the availability as well. This is a CBU, which is a fully imported model. So yes, a lot of taxes, which means that the price range is quite high. The base variant of the Defender starts at rupees 1.11 crores, which doesn't have many features. And the top end goes all the way to rupees 2.72 crores. All the prices are obviously on Mumbai, making it extremely expensive. And the optional extras are also quite expensive here. So yeah, this car doesn't make much sense to the wallet. But then obviously because of the desirability and all, people are just buying it helter-skelter. Remember one thing, this is Land Rover's top selling car. I still don't understand what is stopping them from locally assembling the Defender in India, because that will definitely give it a nice price benefit as well. And the waiting period on this car is also quite a lot, which is kind of sad considering this is a car which we deserve to see more on Indian road. By the way, for the price of the top end Defender, you can get more than 2 base variants of the Defender. That is the high pricing of this car. But then it has got 30 variants, so that's the reason why the price range is quite vast here. And the upcoming Defender Octa, which is definitely going to come to India in the next couple of years, is going to cost more than 3 crore rupees. That's a lot for an off-road vehicle, which obviously competes with the Mercedes G-Wagon, and that is also an obnoxiously expensive car for no reason at all. And now I know why people buy Thar. The second con is the performance, at least for this particular engine, which is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine known as the P300, which essentially means 300 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. But this car is very heavy. 2300 kgs is the weight of the Defender, which means that it doesn't really feel peppy enough, and yes, it kind of struggles if you're trying to make a quick overtake. The bigger problem is the turbo lag. It has considerable amount of turbo lag, which means it doesn't feel that good to drive in the city, because you have to continuously just wait for the turbo to spool up to get going ahead. And this car has a comfort and eco drive mode, but there is no dynamic or sport drive mode, which is crazy. But you can pay rupees 26 lakhs more to go from this car's 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine to a more powerful 3-liter 6-cylinder petrol engine. And thankfully, there's also a diesel and there's also a 5-liter V8 engine in the Defender. Power, baby, power! So the performance is quite mediocre, but in spite of that, fuel efficiency is even worse, because this car returns around 5 to 6 kilometers per liter. What is this 4-cylinder engine doing? Why is it drinking so much fuel? I have no idea. The third con is Land Rover's famed reliability, or rather the lack of it. While the ride is very good, the fourth con is actually the braking and handling of this car, because under heavy braking, it does have considerable nosedive. Those big off-road specific tires don't really help its cause, and it obviously makes a lot of sound as well. So heavy braking is something which you should avoid in the Defender, because it's just not meant for that. Meanwhile, I have to admit that because of the monocoque construction, it does drive quite well for a car which is obviously very off-road centric, but that does not take away the fact that there's considerable body roll, and this is a car which doesn't really feel comfortable being pushed around corners. It isn't supposed to, but yes, it does understeer quite a lot. So the cons aren't really that bad, so you can definitely overlook them. But fortunately, this car has a lot of positive going for it. So here are the 4 pros of the Land Rover Defender. Starting with the first pro, which is also the major reason why people buy the Land Rover Defender, is obviously the looks. Just look at it. There's absolutely nothing which looks like the Defender. It even gets a tailgate mounted full-size spare wheel, a rare thing in SUVs today. There is also the Defender 90, which is the 3-door version which has a shorter wheelbase, and then there's the Defender 130, which has a longer wheelbase, which is basically Land Rover's version of the Force Tufan. The second pro of the Defender is the interior. It's a Land Rover, so obviously luxury is a given. But this car is quite rugged, it's very practical as well, which means it has the best balance and mix of luxury, practicality and ruggedness, something you don't find in any other car. But how? Simply with the use of the right materials. The Defender's interior uses leather with double stitching, wood and aluminium. It also gets exposed screw heads, rubberized panels and anti-slip surfaces for that tough appeal. The Defender has a ton of storage spaces with big door pockets, a cool box under the front center armrest, and you can even fold down the seats. It has huge cubby bins all around and also gets multiple charging options in all the rows. And while it might not look like a 7-seater, the Defender 110 is actually a 3-row SUV. But the last row is absolutely useless. By the way, to make it easier to access the boot, you can use these buttons to alter the ride height of the car. Air suspension, which is... The third pro is the off-road ability. Now we are on the road, but soon we will be off it as soon as I take this turn, where I realize there's considerable body roll as well. The Defender gets air suspension, which can be moved quite a lot. For starters, the ground clearance at 220mm is definitely a lot, which can be increased to a crazy 290mm with a simple click of a button on the center console. Now it has a low range transfer case, it has got 5 off-road drive modes as well, which is absolutely crazy, and it has a water weighting capacity of 900mm, which makes the Defender an absolute beast off the road. The Defender also gets all-terrain tires, which have absolutely nothing to do with Jeep. Yeah, those Goodyear Wrangler tires are very capable off the road. The fourth pro are the features. For a car which is actually meant to conquer Mount Everest, this car is actually decently kitted. Yeah, it has plenty of very thoughtful features. Like a 4-zone climate control air conditioning system with blower controls in the third row, seat heating and ventilation for the front 2 rows, 360-degree parking cameras which are of very good quality, wireless charging pad, 11.4-inch touchscreen infotainment system which displays a ton of information including off-road data, vehicle dimensions and navigation, 10 color ambient lighting, projection from the outside rear view mirrors at night, PM 2.5 air filter, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, Meridian audio system which has good sound output, cleaning function for the rear camera, panoramic sunroof, safari windows and all LED lights, matrix at the front and super cool looking cubes at the rear. However, the first aid kit is quite cheap and out of place in a car of this price. Also, what exactly is this symbol and why is it here? I hate my dirty mind. But yes, some features could be better, like the instrument cluster here. The Defender then is extremely practical, super capable and very desirable as well. This is a car which offers you the best of both worlds, extreme off-road capability and good on-road manners, which is a mix which is very difficult to get. And that's the reason why the Defender is selling in such good numbers. There's absolutely nothing like the Land Rover Defender. In fact, its rivals, which are not really its rivals because of the price difference, because the Wrangler is much cheaper, the G-Wagon is a lot more expensive, they just can't compete with the Defender because it is the best off-road centric car which also does on-road duties absolutely mind-blowingly well. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye-bye.